everybody, it's Wendy from Cinnamon Sweet Shop. Today I'm going to show you how to make a dark and white chocolate ginger snap cookie. Now this is the ginger snap recipe that really started it all for me. It's one of the first cookie recipes I got my hands on, and I've been making it for many years. In fact, there's a picture of it in the banner at my website at cinnamonsweetshop.com. But what we're going to do with this cookie is we're going to dress it up a little bit at the end. So what you're going to need is flour, whole wheat pastry flour, but you can use the white flour, butter softened to room temperature, salt, brown sugar, vanilla extract, regular sugar. I always use my organic raw sugar. You can use white granulated sugar if you so choose. Molasses, an egg, baking soda, ginger, cinnamon, and ground cloves. Now to finish it off, we're going to need a little bit more sugar, no particular measurement, just enough because we're going to roll the cookies in this before we bake them. And to decorate, we're going to need some white chocolate and some dark chocolate. Now, you can use the candy melts if you want, but if you go back and look at my video on why I don't use candy melts, you'll see why I don't use candy melts. In the mixer, we're going to just beat together the softened butter and both sugars. Next, I'm going to add in the molasses, 1 egg, and the vanilla extract, and beat this until blended. In a separate bowl, whisk together the flour, the salt and soda, and the spices. I'm going to add in the flour mixture into the wet ingredients. And you want to mix it just until it's incorporated. You really don't want to overmix the flour. And I like to do the first couple stirs by hand, just a little bit, so that I don't have flour blowing all over the place. I'm going to change bowls here to a smaller bowl. And I'm going to cover this batter with plastic wrap and chill it in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes or until it firms up. Once the dough is chilled, you're then going to take ball size, 1-inch size balls, just roll them out, and with the sugar, the extra sugar, I'm just going to roll the balls into the sugar and place them about 1 inch apart on the baking sheet. With the back of a flat glass, I'm just going to press down lightly to flatten them out evenly. And I'm going to bake these in a 350-degree oven for about 12 to 15 minutes. Now, if you want them chewier, 12 minutes they'll be done. If you leave them in the 15 minutes, they'll be a little bit more crispier. These are what the cookies should look like when they're done. Now, mine are a little bit darker in color because I use the raw organic sugar. If you were to use a white sugar, it may come out, it will come out a little bit lighter in color, but they really do taste the same. So I have some melted white chocolate, and I have a little bit of melted dark chocolate in a parchment cone. If you don't have a cone or don't know how to use one, you can use a Ziploc bag and just snip the tip off, or you could use a very fine tube in a pastry bag. But you do want the consistency of the chocolate to be fairly thin because we're going to be dipping about half of this. So I thin this out with a little bit of cocoa butter, but you can use a little bit of shortening if you would like to do that. So I'm going to just dip half this cookie or about half, doesn't have to be totally. And I'm mostly concerned with getting the front part of the cookie covered. I don't care so much if the back it gets covered, but I do want to try and get as much of this excess off, so I'm going to just scrape that off. With the dark chocolate in a cone, I'm just going to go over with some stripes on top. They don't have to be perfectly even, but try to get them as even as I can. And I'm going to be doing a technique called the wet on wet technique. So I have a toothpick, and I'm just going to take and go straight down. And then on this side, I'm going to go up a little bit. Just wipe off the excess off the toothpick. Take this one down. And this one up. Down. Up. And down. And then there's the cookie. And I'm going to let this dry. And you notice that I do have it on a rack here, and that's in case any of it drips. And now with the remainder of the cookies, I'm going to do the reverse. I'm going to dip them in the chocolate and just border them with the white chocolate. Once you're finished with all the cookies, just let them sit out and dry for a bit. It may take a while if you're using real chocolate. If you're using the candy melts, which again I really don't recommend, but if you're using the candy melts, they tend to dry, harden a little bit quicker. Now, if you find this is too complicated for you, or you just don't really want to spend the time with the toothpicks going back and forth, you can still decorate the cookies nicely and just do a drizzle. I have a combination of dark chocolate, white chocolate, and just drizzle at the top, and they still look very nice. For this recipe, for all my other recipes, make sure you go to my website, linked below at Cinnamon Sweet Shop. Subscribe to this channel for more baking, smoothie, beverage, cookie, cake decorating, and much, much more. I'll see you next time.